Welcome to the CBN News Live Desk. I'm Dan Andros. Historic flooding has devastated parts of Texas, with rivers overflowing, RVs, vehicles, entire homes swept away. Many Christian youths attending summer camps were involved in this tragedy as well. In Kerrville and surrounding areas, rescue and recovery teams are working around the clock to help families pick up the pieces. I'm joined now by Diego Traverso, Director of International Disaster Relief for Operation Blessing. He's on the ground in Kerrville, Texas, one of the many communities, Diego, that's reeling from this devastating flooding that claimed, I think, over 100 lives now, maybe the latest total. That might even be updated since I last looked, but, homes destroyed and families are in urgent need of help. So thanks for being here, Diego.
Thank you, Dan, for having me.
Just describe what you're seeing on the ground there right now. I mean, obviously, we know we had that kind of freakish, historic flooding happen. So tell me what you're seeing down there.
It's pretty chaotic. I spent the morning going around a little bit, visiting some of the firefighter stations, and that we're providing aid to, from hot meals to equipment, so they can continue their search and rescue mission that they have right now. And it's chaotic, but at the same time, it's the beauty of the chaos kind of thing. It's a weird mix that you see hundreds of volunteers showing up, willing to help, the community coming together, and then in the midst of this disaster. So it's kind of a mixed feeling, and a lot of a lot of sorrow, a lot of mourning. A lot of people are in pain. They lost beloved ones, but despite that, they're still out there helping their neighbors, to search for the ones that are still missing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some of these stories pop up here on the news. I'm sure a lot of people have read some of the tragic stories that we've seen, particularly from these Christian campers at different camps that just happened to be a few hundred feet from the river, and that thing went, I think, some 30 feet-ish within just 45 minutes, in the middle of the night, by the way. And so there's lots of discussion on all of that, but that's just incredible levels of flooding. So what are some of the stories, Diego, that you have come across here that have sort of stuck with you as you talk to people?
Partnering with the local church, the local pastor, Phil, such a man of God, he just found out on Sunday service that some of the members of the congregation were missing, and hours later, some of them they were found. Sadly, they were found dead, and it's very moving to see the local pastor and the community, the Christian community, embracing this and saying there is no time to cry now. We need to get together. We need to help the people that is out there. This is also an opportunity to share the gospel, even though in the midst of the disaster, there is still hope, and that's the hope that we believe as Christians. And I think that's something that touched my heart really deeply, to see this pastor having, members of the congregation lost, and despite that, he could have the option to go and just do nothing, but he's not doing it. He's opening up his church. We're prepping hot meals from there for the first responders. He's opening his arms, to embrace the community that is not coming even to the church or anything like that. He's just embracing everyone to be like, hey, there is a safe place here. You can come. You don't need to do anything. You can be here. We can pray for you. We can feed you. And we can be together, in this hard time.
Diego, this area here in Texas, they're used to flooding. I mean, this has happened before. This one just happened to be incredibly more devastating than past floods. So how is this one different than previous floods? Have you heard people talking about that here?
We heard a lot about that. That is kind of a unique life event that happens. Floods happen, yearly here. But as I said, a disaster, we have disasters all over the world, every single month, every single, all the time they're coming. But sometimes the perfect storm comes, and it's a kind of a bad term to say it that way. But all the conditions. It's a 4th of July. It's a holiday. It's 3 in the morning. There is kids, children, hundreds of them camping next to the river. It was nobody's fault, really, in my opinion. That is like the pastor was telling me that the 1986 they have a similar event, and the people was evacuated. But when they were being evacuated on the buses, they were swept away by the river, the bus, and they die. If they haven't been evacuated, they will be saved. So it's like, how do you know when that's going to happen to you? Either way, it's just, as I said, like a perfect bad storm that all the conditions met to have this tragedy, which is we are all mourning with them, and just being present for them is so important. I have talked to some of the rescuers this morning, and they're going like hard. The weather is very hot right now and humid, sunny day in Texas. But imagine this condition, high humidity, being in the river, searching for bodies and all that is exhausting, and they're going nonstop. And we're seeing the community coming together, which is so impactful for me. That's the real heart of America. I feel that it's like when tragedies like this happen, America come together despite the politics or anything else. It's just like, hey, I'm here to help you. I can lend you a hand, a shovel. I have 2 blankets. I'll give you one. And that compassion is something unique that we as foreigners, because I'm not from the U.S., over the years, we've received that through missionaries coming to my country in the 60s, and reaching out to the end of the world with the gospel too. And we see that same heart here with compassion and helping each other when the community needs it.
Yeah. And that's what people need at a time like this, Diego. I mean, you mentioned that you don't think it's anyone's fault. And the frustrating thing, I think, almost immediately after this was seeing the discourse online and seeing people try to assign blame or point fingers when, really this is the time to do what you guys do. And that is to just get in there and help and be with people and help people. And that's what you guys are doing right now. And tell me about what some of the biggest immediate needs are for families who've lost a lot, or just what is kind of the main thing you guys are focused on right now?
The government, the authorities are locking it up, the whole area, more than 12 miles of river that was highly affected, because search and rescue is still happening. So we're waiting on them to go full speed and help the families to start cleaning their properties, mock on God and all that. So bringing kind of the big machinery. But while we wait, we see the need on the volunteers and the first responders. We are prepping hot meals for them. We are giving them tools that they need. We're giving them hydration is so important, because of the weather right now. And also one of the key needs that start happening today, one of the community from the pastor community here approached to me and said, like, I'm going to the funeral home because there's some families that they have nothing left. They have even no money to pay for the services. So Operation Blessing is going to be covering some of those expenses for the funerals of some families. So right now we're going through a list with the pastors, the pastor coalition, the evangelical kind of alliance, and trying to see which ones are in need, families that they lost everything and they have no means to pay for the funeral. So those are a little bit of everything that we're doing right now here, waiting for the next phase that is going to come up in the next couple of days, probably.
Okay. And yeah, it was on the screen there for a minute. And if anybody wants to help out and partner in this, as I'm sure you do, if you haven't already, go to ob.org/flood. There's the link right there at the bottom of the screen. And Operation Blessing, all of those proceeds will go and help people in this particular who are caught up and affected by this particular flooding crisis that happened in Texas. You can also donate just via YouTube there, right at it should be on the side of the screen there or the bottom of the screen, depending on what you're looking at there. You can donate to CBN's Operation Blessing that way, so that you can help Diego and the team there as they minister to people on the ground. And this is something, Diego, we've talked about, but that Operation Blessing does, meeting the needs of the people there that are going through these crises, that are going through these disaster scenarios, meeting the immediate physical needs that are always needed in times like this, meals, etc., for people who've lost everything. But you guys also bring prayer on this, and that is something that makes Operation Blessing unique.
Yeah, you're totally right, Dan. That's something that I think, I don't want to say that we're different to everyone, but that's part of our DNA. What we started over 49 years ago, over 50 years ago in the 78 with Pat, is the heart of what we do is because we have a greater commission to fill, and we do believe in that. We do believe that material things can be replaced, but eternity is not. So that's something that is part of our DNA, who we are. And we are here, crying with them. As the Bible said, cry with the ones that are crying. And we are going to enjoy when they're hopefully, back in their feet or reestablishing, in their homes or in that process. So for now, it's time to cry with the ones that are crying, help them, extend a hand of hope. People have no means to cook. We're handling a warm meal. Sometimes it's so simple, a plate. You said like, oh, what are you changing with a hot meal? It's like the comfort food, having there, sitting with them and eating with them, just sharing and being present in this dark moment is everything for people that suffer, and I think we can all relate it in some level to this. We are not exempt of this tragedy happening to us, so.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And even the basic things in the immediate aftermath. I mean, aside from, like you said, aside from the meal or a drink, which is needed, it's also knowing that somebody cares and somebody's there. Because you can feel alone in that situation. There's hundreds of other people that are going through similar things. And, you might just feel kind of like, oh, I'm on my own now. How am I going to do this? And so when the people come together and they help, even in small ways, I know that's always appreciated. And so, Diego, how long are you guys planning to be there? I mean, you can't just pick up in a couple of days on these things and fix everything. So what's the plan here?
That's one of the key questions that we always ask to ourselves too, is it depends on many factors. Obviously, if we are needed, if we see that the community needs that, and we see that we are still needed here. So right now behind me, I'm at the Home Depot parking lot. We're setting up a camp base here for the next couple of days. We don't know how long it's going to be, maybe a couple of weeks. It depends on the need and the assessment that we're going to continue doing. After the search and rescue, we're going full speed with the community, assessing what they need for rebuilding or cleaning or getting back in their feet. Some businesses probably were lost in that area, and we want to evaluate and see how we can support the community to get back.
All right. And Diego, before we go here, how can we be praying for the families there and for your team and other relief teams, other Christians that are there, other people there helping out? How can we be praying?
Strength is so important. I think a lot of the families went through this trauma and they haven't even realized and sit down and process all this, what happened to them. For comfort, obviously, for the Holy Spirit to minister to them. Is going to be funerals coming in the next couple of days, times to reflect, and people is going to be very, very, sensitive to this. So for them to process this properly, and for us as a team, for strength, as I said, and for wisdom to go in the places that God wants us to go, to be in the place that He wants us to be. There is so much need all across this strip from the Guadalupe River. Hundreds of homes destroyed, many hundreds of families affected. We cannot help everyone. So praying for God's direction to meet up the ones that God us wanted to meet, and help.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll definitely be praying. And in the meantime, if you want to help and you want to join those efforts, go to ob.org/flood and help Diego, the team, Operation Blessing, and help people there in need directly. And you can also do that through the OB fundraiser there on the YouTube link. So Diego, thanks so much. I know you guys are busy down there working and helping the families. Thanks so much for stopping by and telling us what's going on.
Thank you, Dan. God bless you.
All right. God bless you too. And again, make sure you're checking out those links on ob.org/flood. Make sure you're there helping those people in need. Operation Blessing is in so many places doing great work, and they're bringing the love of Christ with them as well. So appreciate you tuning in to this update, and stay tuned to CBN News for more updates on this and other important stories going on across the globe. God bless. We'll see you next time.